What's up gamers, Coach Brandon here. Today we'll be going over the importance of fighting 1v1 and 2v2 fights and how to win them. Winning these fights is extremely important as it can lead to a snowball lead for you that will make it easy for you to dominate the rest of the game and completely take over. The season's coming to a close, so let us know what type of things you want to see in the future seasons, and be sure to come back and check the app to see what we have planned for the future. Okay, let's get into it. To warm up, load into the practice tool and practice using your combos and kiting around when your abilities are on cooldown. You want to make sure you're constantly moving while your abilities are on cooldown so that you're not an easy target for your opponents. When you have no cooldowns available to use, unless you're an ADC or a champ with high auto attack range, it is more worth it to kite around your opponent than it is to stand and auto attack them. Putting this in your head with the practice tool warm up will be extremely important for this lesson, so I recommend doing this for about 3 to 5 minutes. Taking 1v1 fights is a mainstay in most league games and are very prevalent in every single position besides bot lane. The most important part of fighting a 1v1 is resource management and knowing your advantages and disadvantages. For example, if you see an enemy use one of their big cooldowns that they use for damage and they don't hit you with it, it's a good time to fight because one of their main sources of damage is unavailable to use. Cooldowns is not everything though, because knowing the limits of your champion against the enemy champion is also important. An example of this is playing a scaling champion into an early game champ. You have to have more advantages going for you than normal to win that matchup because of the stats that are available to you. These advantages can come in forms of having more items, having a surprise attack advantage, or by simply having more minions available to help you fight your opponent. There are many factors that go into taking a good 1v1 fight, but the only way to get better at them is to take them and not get tilted when you lose. Everyone loses fights, but when you do lose, just ask yourself what caused you to lose that fight so that you are constantly learning for next time. When taking 2v2 fights, the main thing that will win you the fight is target focusing. A lot of the time when people take 2v2 fights, they don't fight as a team on one target and instead spread their damage on separate opponents. You really want to focus down the bigger threat or the support in a 2v2 fight. For example, if the enemy pairs an ADC and a tank, you want to focus the ADC because the tank won't do much outside of CC and eating damage. But if you're fighting an ADC and Enchanter, then you want to focus the Enchanter, because a lot of times Enchanters have tools to keep others alive, but not themselves. 2v2 fights are all about good coordination and target focusing, so make sure that you and your partner are on the same page and you should come out on top most of the time. Always remember that even if you lose the fight, you want to be able to learn from it. Reflect on your fights and ask what you could have done better so that you're looking for most advantages next time. It's best to practice this in the 2v2v2v2 limited game mode that League has out right now, or if that's unavailable, you can play ADC support in an unrated match. The main reason for taking these smaller fights is so that you become much stronger than the rest of your opponents by farming gold from when you're winning fights. Doing this is the best way to get fed in your games and start to take your lead to other places on the map and dominate the game. Taking your lead and forcing fights on other parts of the map with your lead to then get your teammates ahead is the easiest way to win solo queue games. Once you have 2 or 3 kill lead over your direct opponent, look to walk around the map and force fights with your teammates to get them snowballing as well. League, at the end of the day, is a team game, and you having to lead while letting the rest of your team fall behind will do you no good. Always look to spread the gold to your team, and your games will become so much easier to win. Look to do this in an unrated match, and when you get a lead, take some fights around neutral objectives or by ganking other lanes to get your team rolling. Again, I'm Coach Brandon, and today we went over how and why taking good 1v1 and 2v2 fights can lead to easy wins in League. Remember that we run weekly events on our Discord, and if you have any questions, you can ping me in the League channel in the Discord as well. Always remember to stay hungry, stay humble, and I'll see you all next time.